It's funny how everyone keeps looking sideways at Ramsey like he's the whole damn story. Sure, he's the headline name, the big ticket, but while folks keep turning his name into some soap opera cliffhanger, the Dolphins just quietly made two moves that might mess with the depth chart more than anyone's ready to admit. Ryan Cooper Jr. is back. Again. Yeah, again. You might not even remember the first time. Who really keeps track when the back end of the roster is a merry-go-round? But he's here now, back in the room, and this isn't just a throwaway footnote. And Jason Matra? He's out, landed on injured reserve, and just like that, the guy who was starting to carve out something from nothing is sidelined. Feels cold. Feels like the NFL. Cooper's journey is one of those that doesn't fit neatly into any narrative. Undrafted. Spent time with Baltimore on their practice squad. Showed up in a single game, and then poof, gone. Caught on with Seattle at the tail end of a season that didn't mean much for them. Then Miami scooped him off waivers like someone picking up the last slice of pizza at a party nobody stayed at. He was waived, dropped, picked up again, and now here we are. Not flashy, not a headline, but you can feel there's more to this than meets the eye. At Oregon State, Cooper was a grinder. 23 games, over 80 tackles, a handful of interceptions. Not the kind of stats that make fans run to buy jerseys, but they tell a story. The guy knows how to stay in the fight. And if you watched him at the College of San Mateo before that, he's been scrapping since the beginning. No handouts. Nothing easy. Meanwhile, let's talk about what this cornerback room actually is right now. Jalen Ramsey's name still casts a long shadow, and everyone's pretending it's not just a matter of time before he's on another team. June 1st is coming, and with it, cap space magic. A trade feels baked in. So who's left holding the bag? Kader Kohou. Still here. Still quietly the guy nobody appreciates enough. He's been consistent in the slot, and somehow that makes him the elder statesman in a room filled with questions and whispers. Then you've got Artie Burns, and come on, are we still pretending like he's got something left in the tank? He was a first-round pick in 2016. That's ancient history. And Kendall Sheffield? He's been bouncing from practice squads like a suitcase with no destination. So now this battle royal in the secondary includes guys like Storm Duck. Yes, that's a real name. And yes, you're going to remember it if he sticks. Ethan Bonner, Isaiah Johnson, Cam Smith, who fans were hyped about for a minute before things cooled way off. Then there's Jason Marshall Jr., a rookie fifth-rounder who's supposed to have upside. But when has upside ever guaranteed anything in this league? And don't forget the undrafted rookies, B.J. Adams, Ethan Robinson, just more names with dreams. Nobody outside that locker room is betting on them. But one of them might be the guy who steps in when the depth chart gets blown up by injuries in Week 4. Happens every year. Always does. Which brings us back to Cooper. Why bring him back again? Why now? Maybe it's just about bodies for OTAs. Maybe it's insurance. But maybe, just maybe, it's because he's shown something. Something they liked. Something they think they might need when this whole secondary gets reshuffled. It wouldn't be the first time a guy with zero buzz shows up when it matters. And what about Matra? There was something there. The kind of training camp performance that makes coaches stop fast-forwarding through reps. He didn't make noise, but he made enough quiet plays to stick around. Until now. Injury reserve means he's out of the picture, and we might not hear from him again. That's the brutal part. You claw your way up just to disappear again, like you were never even there. So here we are. The Ramsey cloud still looming. A room filled with maybes and what-ifs. And somewhere in there, Ryan Cooper Jr. is walking back into the building. Not as a savior. Not as a game changer. Just a guy. But maybe the kind of guy who ends up making a play in Week 10, and everyone scrambles to find out who the hell he is. That's how this league works. You blink, and a nobody becomes a storyline. You hesitate, and the job is gone. The margin between camp body and starter is razor thin when everything's up in the air like it is now in Miami. And this defensive backfield, it's in full freefall. One misstep, and your depth chart looks like a game of Jenga collapsing on itself. No one's going to talk about Cooper when they break down this roster. But the smart ones, they'll keep an eye on him. Because sometimes the story isn't the loudest headline. Sometimes it's the one that doesn't get told until it's already happened.